So, about 6 months back, I was rolling through my hometown on one of those rare days off from hauling freight across state lines. You know how it is, the road's your life, but sometimes you gotta swing by the places you left behind. I helped out with this community theater thing a while ago. Nothing big, just volunteered for a local film festival they threw together. And I forgot some paperwork up in the projection booth. Figured I'd pop in quick, grab it, and get back to my rig before the sun dipped too low. The place is this old 1950s relic, all faded paint and creaky wooden floors that groan like they're complaining about the weight of history. I'd known it forever, grew up sneaking in as a kid to watch reruns. But that night, after hours, it felt different. Empty, like the building was holding its breath. I let myself in with the spare key the manager gave me years ago, the kind of trust you only get in small towns where everyone's connected somehow. The lobby was dim under those red emergency lights, casting long shadows on the velvet curtains that smelled like mothballs and stale popcorn. No one's around, the show's long over, and the streets outside are quiet except for the distant hum of a semi idling at the truck stop down the road. I headed straight up the narrow stairs to the booth. It's this cramped little room overlooking the auditorium, stuffed with dusty reels and faded posters of black and white classics peeling off the walls. The projector sat there dormant. This big black metal beast with its reels like empty eyes and the lens staring blankly at the small window that looked down on the empty seats. I remember thinking, man, this thing's gotta be older than me. Probably hasn't been touched since the last volunteer run the festival. No power cord even plugged in, just sitting cold and silent amid the clutter. I started rummaging through the desk drawer, papers everywhere, bills and schedules from the event mixed with old ticket stubs. My hands were a bit greasy from the drive, flannel shirt sleeves rolled up, jeans dusted with road grit. Nothing fancy, just me being me. That's when I caught a whiff of it, this sharp, vinegary scent like developing film from way back, the kind you don't smell anymore with everything digital now. Odd, I thought, shaking my head. Probably just the dust kicking up. Or maybe some leftover from the festival cleanup they half-assed. I mean, come on. I'm a trucker, not some ghost hunter. I've seen enough breakdowns on the highway to know weird smells are usually oil or exhaust playing tricks. But I kept digging, determined to find that damn paperwork before the place felt too much like a tomb. And then, bam, the projector hummed. Not a full roar, but this low, insistent buzz starting from nowhere like it was waking up on its own. I froze, hand halfway in the drawer, staring at it. The reels began to spin, slow at first, then picking up, and that lens glowed faint, throwing flickering light through the window onto the screen below. Empty seats down there, rows of them like forgotten soldiers. But suddenly they're alive with shadows. People, an audience from another time. Men in fedoras, tipping their hats. Women in flowy dresses, clapping at some invisible show. It wasn't the footage from our festival. Hell, no, this was old, grainy black and white, like a newsreel or something from the 40s. Laughter and applause echoing faintly through the speakers that shouldn't even be on. I backed up a step, heart kicking up. Had I bumped a switch? Tripped some ancient circuit? Nah, I told myself. It's the wiring. Old buildings like this, they glitch. But the air got thicker. Static crackling like radio interference, and that film scent sharpened, almost choking. Listen, I stood there trying to rationalize it, you know? I'm no believer in spooks. Life's too short for that crap when you're dodging deer at 3 a.m. on I-80. Maybe a power surge from the street or the manager left it on standby. Yeah, that had to be it. But the images kept flickering, the audience leaning forward as if the film's about to start, their faces blurred but excited, like they were really there in the theater's heyday. I glanced around the booth, shadows dancing from the projector's light, and that's when I saw it in the reflective glass of the cabinet door beside me, this translucent shape. A man, semi-see-through, dressed in a 1940s suit, bow tie crisp, cap pulled low over pale features etched with focus. He wasn't in the room with me. I swear I looked over my shoulder. Nothing. But there he was in the glass, reaching out like he was adjusting a reel that wasn't there, his hands passing through empty air with this deliberate twist. My stomach dropped. I felt exposed, like I'd walked in on something private, something that didn't want an audience. He turned his head slightly in the reflection, eyes locked on the projector, not on me, but I could feel intent. You get me? Like he was finishing a job, determined as hell, ignoring whatever glitch I was. I blinked hard. Trick of the light, right? The flickering messing with the glass, my tired eyes from the road. But no, he lingered a second, pale face sharpening, then faded like smoke as the hum peaked. Down on the screen, the audience clapped louder, a wave of sound that rattled the booth's thin walls, and I caught a whisper, faint, like roll it, or something garbled through static. Coincidence, I thought, pushing it down. Probably the film audio bleeding through, old reels left in the machine. Yet, my skin prickled, that scent, turning acrid like burnt celluloid, and I gripped the desk edge, knuckles white, telling myself to breathe, to just grab the papers and bolt. The whole thing couldn't have lasted more than a minute, but it stretched, you know? Time warps in moments like that. Then, abrupt as it started, the projector whined down, reels slowing, light dying, screen going black on that frozen audience mid-applause. A chill hit the air, sharp and sudden, like someone cracked a window to winter. Goosebumps racing up my arms under the flannel. I rubbed them, breath fogging a bit in the sudden drop. Boiler acting up maybe, or just the night cooling off. Rational, see? Always got an out. But deep down, doubt gnawed. That figure in the glass, adjusting nothing, it stuck like a bad hitchhiker story you tell around a campfire. I snatched the paperwork. There it was, right on top now, like it had been waiting, and backed out of the booth, stairs creaking under my boots louder than before. Locked the door behind me, keys jingling too loud in the quiet, and hit the street, truck lights cutting the dark as I peeled out. Days later, I couldn't shake it, so I called up a buddy who's handy with old tech, a local guy who fixes projectors for museums or whatever. Determined to prove it was nothing, I dragged him back to the theater during daylight when it felt harmless again, all bright and musty. We tore into that machine. Checked the wiring, the belts, even dusted out the reels. Nothing, no faults, no loose connections, no reason it should have fired up like that, let alone shut down on a dime. He scratched his head, said it was dormant as a rock, probably hasn't run right since the 70s. That chill? Attributed it to drafts in the old building, the whispers and the audience, echoes from a stuck reel maybe, or my imagination filling in blanks. But the reflection. We polished that glass clean, and nothing jumped out. Still, I kept circling back in my mind. Was that guy, for real, a remnant? Some projectionist who poured his life into this place, now stuck replaying his routine. Cynical as I am, I want to laugh it off, blame fatigue or the long hauls messing with my head. Looking back now, 6 months on, I avoid that theater like a bad route. Drive past it sometimes, lights off, and wonder if he's still up there, tweaking invisible reels for an audience long gone. Makes me think about all the forgotten spots we leave behind. Jobs, towns, lives, and what lingers when we're determined to move on, but can't. If you ever find yourself alone in an old place like that, trust your gut. Sometimes the show's not over, even when the lights go out. Hell, maybe next time I'm in town, I'll peek in just to check. Or not. Yeah, probably not.